In this lecture, we'll discuss the asset pipeline. The asset pipeline, simply put, is the steps it takes to get a game asset into the game. A typical asset pipeline includes 3 stages, each with various substages, starting with pre-production. Pre-production is where the design and conceptual work happens. Concept art may be sketched and reference imagery may be gathered. For example, if the target graphical asset was a 3D model of a 1969 Ford Mustang, reference imagery would include photographs of that vehicle. In large game development teams, pre-production may be done by a team of designers, concept artists, and lead artists. The next stage of the asset pipeline is production. Asset production will vary quite a bit depending on the type of asset you're creating. In the case of 3D graphical assets, production typically includes modeling, UV mapping, texturing, rigging, and animating. These steps may be completed in one or more tools and involve one or more file formats. In a large team, different individuals or teams of individuals may take on each of these roles. The final stage in the asset pipeline is integrating the asset into the game. On a large team, this would typically be the work of the level designers or the technical artists. It is important to note that the asset pipeline is often not a linear pipeline. Once an asset is integrated in the game, there may be design or production changes that lead to the asset needing to be updated. Just like game development itself, asset creation is often an iterative process. Orchestrating a smooth and efficient asset pipeline is hugely important for the success of the project. If the asset pipeline breaks down, the development of the game will halt. One of the steps that often leads to a breakdown is right here, between the production of the asset and the integration into the game. This step is hugely important to ensure that the asset works in the game and looks and sounds as it should. Of course, the integration step is highly dependent on the game engine you're working with. Unity 3D, for example, eases this process through its automatic importer. Typically, at the end of the asset production, you'll have something like a Maya binary file for a 3D asset, complete with a model, UV map, texture, rig, and animation, a Photoshop file for a 2D asset, complete with layers of pixel maps, and a WAV file for audio assets, complete with multiple tracks of audio. When you import, Unity makes an exact copy of these files and places them into the project asset folder. At the same time, Unity converts these files into a usable format for within the game engine. As we just said, when you import a Maya binary file into Unity, Unity will automatically make an FBX version of the Maya binary file and store it in the library folder of your project. If you edit the Maya binary file within the project folder and save it, Unity will detect that it is changed and automatically make a new FBX version behind the scenes, and the new asset will automatically appear in the game. This automation greatly speeds up the asset pipeline and supports iterative development. While it's not 100% foolproof, it works most of the time without issue. For example, one of the gotchas with the importer is that in some cases, it requires additional software to work properly. For example, in the case of Maya files, you must have Maya installed on your computer to import Maya files. Unity uses Maya to do the conversion to FBX. If you give a Maya file to someone who does not have Maya installed and they try to import it into Unity, they will not be able to. To get around this, in Maya, you can export to FBX and then import the FBX directly into your Unity project. While this makes the asset pipeline a bit less elegant, it may be required depending on the makeup of your team and their computer setup. One final note on the import process into Unity is that Unity allows you to modify how the game asset is imported through the import settings on the game asset within the Unity editor. As we work through this course, we'll do this from time to time. Well, we're almost to the end of week 1. I'm trying to get most of the conceptual concepts out of the way this week so we can focus on more hands-on learning through the rest of the course.